From intimidating tree beasts to jaguars that run on water, these are the best jungle mobs that Minecraft needs to add. Like this dangerous deity. Found deep in new jungle crypt structures containing many new enemies, players can destroy a totem to anger this mob into attacking them, using powerful and blinding shockwaves, while also summoning hordes of undead monkeys to battle, which can quickly become overwhelming. Though, for those that manage to defeat him, the fragments he drops can be crafted into the Fist of Doom, an infinitely reusable weapon that creates mob-destroying shockwaves on a cooldown. Not that I would ever use it against these rivets, though. Found living in villages all throughout new fungal jungle biomes, these critters can often be seen fishing, watering crops, or casting helpful spells. Heck, they could even just be sitting down in groups to play music. And if you've got some amethyst on hand, you might just be able to trade them for various new items, including maracas. Then you can join in the festivities too, before riding off into the sunset on your new stone jaguar. Built from 3 special blocks and a vine, this mount is not only the fastest in the game, but it will even damage mobs as you ram into them. It can even run across water with incredible ease. Haha, nothing can stop me now! Well, unless the terrifying Luxtraptosaurus emerges from its volcano. Because in new primordial caves, this devastating dino reigns supreme. It has the ability to deliver swift kicks to knock players back and whip its tail around to disable their shields, all before leaping into the air. This beast is unmatched in power, though a determined enough player might just be able to topple it and collect its tectonic shards, an item used to craft the Extinction Spear, which lets you shoot flames at your enemies to lift them off into the air with fiery wings before dropping them down. Ooh. Or you could get yourself some jungle plank golems. Built from a jungle plank block and carved pumpkin, these little snipers love to both shoot arrows and explosive cocoa beans at hostile mobs. Better still, players can actually pick up one of these golems in their hand to start firing them like a gun. Ha ha! Bam! Nothing will stand in our way! Ah, what the? The Arrow Guardian! This ancient flying menace hovers above treetops as it hunts for players to strike at with lightning bolts and mini whirlwinds that lift the player off the ground. Gotcha! However, you can claim its new Eye of the Storm weapon, which will give you the power to blast out lightning summoning lasers. Just be careful not to scare off the Relicorus. This massive bird-like dinosaur can often be found nibbling on tree leaves or munching on small bugs in the primordial caves. And even though this fella isn't afraid to defend itself with sharp claws if attacked, they actually prefer to be friends, especially if you feed them some primordial soup, which gives these giants such a rush of energy that they'll go around knocking down almost any nearby tree in sight. Ho-ho! Thank you for all the free wood. Although, less friendly is the Duck Army. These ducks travel through rifts to invade and raid your world. During these raids, players will be met with various enemies, from horn-blowing commanders and bolt-firing ballistas to terrifying boss mobs, like a duck dragon that rules the skies and a duck dinosaur that breathes fire. Though, if you find their base, a deadly duck bot waits for you, able to shoot walking duck bombs out at players. A tough battle for sure, but made easier with the help of the Golden Guard. With him by your side, no enemy will stand a chance against his powerful slams. By simply presenting gifts to this idol, players can give life to these creatures that can destroy any mob. Just keep an eye out for the Fumetin Lizard. If fed some apples, this useful reptilian will release these green fumes that will make hostile mobs go insane and start attacking themselves until they're dead. Incredibly useful for defending yourself in a pinch, especially when faced with the Huracan. This blaze-like mob flies around, shooting deadly poison darts at players with incredible speed and accuracy. And while fighting one of these in their temple homes is a challenge, it's worth it for the Huracan mask that it has a chance to drop. as with this mask on, gravity is more of a suggestion than a law, making it easy to get extra air while jumping across jungle trees. Though deep below these jungles lie the secret societies of ancient villagers called burrowers. Basically, mole men that hoard any resource they can find in their underground homes. Easily scared at first, if a player has any fruit item in their hand, they'll quickly change their tune. And if you then drop some fruit in their direction, they'll take a good look at it before tossing you an item, like potions, ore, or even new building materials. It's best to keep your eyes peeled for their chief, however, as he can be directly traded with for even rarer items. Though, the best creature you can find down here is the Silver Dweller. It's a bigger, domesticated silverfish that feeds on different types of stone, and if you toss some their way, they'll rush to eat it before spitting out a smooth variant of the block back out. Best part is, while they're doing this, they have a chance to drop a new dung item that can be used to grow ore veins even larger. It's almost like bone meal, but for diamonds! I love these guys! Can't say the same for these Velociraptors, though. These pack-hunting dinosaurs are absolute terrors that will attack anything on sight, whether it's a player or a giant dinosaur. Wow, those guys might be kind of stupid, which is odd because they're actually really smart, even being able to open up doors and chests to steal the goodies inside. Hey, give that back! Nope, going the other way. Though I think I'd rather find one of these platypuses. While typically seen hunting for small fish, these aquatic mammals aren't afraid to get their flippers dirty if attacked, fighting back with poisonous venom. So it's best to just leave them be. Well, unless you have some redstone dust, because feeding some to one of these creatures supercharges them, giving them the energy to search any nearby clay blocks for goodies, even a fedora if you're lucky. Though, while it looks pretty good on me, I think it'd look even better on him. Just keep those platypuses away from the Gongans. Often found in groups of 4 to 7, these tiny reptiles can be difficult to corner. However, for those that manage to, you can shear off their tails to craft a special Gongan tail soup that gives regeneration when consumed. And since their tails grow back over time, having a few of them around at your base is a great way to stay happy and healthy, especially when fighting the Mayan warriors. Possessed to guard new temple structures, these undead mobs wield ancient weapons to deter greedy players. Though these mobs hold a secret treasure of their own, as once killed, they have a rare chance to drop their masks, which can be worn to increase your attack speed significantly. Though, when it starts to storm, you'll want to keep an eye to the skies for the Thunder Screamer, because while this majestic bird flies above jungle canopies, the lightning bolts that follow it can really ruin your day. But if you manage to shoot it down, it'll fall to the ground and explode into a pool of electricity, dropping a special feather that can be crafted into the Electron and Electro Bow, weapons that can be used to strike foes with the same electricity, which deals extra damage to wet mobs. Though make sure not to attack these devil hole pupfish, because small and energetic creatures, they can often be seen chasing each other around for fun, and if near any mossy stone blocks, will peck at them to feed, leaving behind slime balls for you to collect, which is perfect when you're looking to build your own slime golem, as by combining slime into new packed blocks and placing a carved pumpkin on top, players can build this short king that won't attack mobs, but will produce trails of slime algae, a substance that can be broken for a chance at even more slime, which you could then turn into slime pie that actually, it tastes really bad. Although it's probably not as bad as the blood these crimson mosquitoes suck. Another resident of nether flesh jungles, these hideous creatures fly around looking for any mob or player to suck dry, lunging and latching on with all its might. Get it off! Get it off! And once it's had its fill, it'll keep the fight going by spitting its prey's blood back at it. Oh, gross! If slain while filled with blood, though, it can drop a new blood sac item, used to craft and power the Blood Sprayer, a unique weapon that uses mosquito spit to deal area of effect damage, which is cool, but I think I'd rather use the shells of these tortoises instead. While these timid mobs will keep to themselves and hide in the face of danger, if a player feeds them fruit, it'll gain the courage to go out and lay eggs. And once its babies are fully grown, the player can collect their scoots to craft a tortoise shell of their own that can be placed down and punched into enemies as a reusable projectile. Not that it would do much against the fierce Kukulkan. By visiting new temples and completing mirror puzzles, players can reach the main chamber, where a difficult battle will take place, as this beast sends out glowing projectiles that hurl you into the air. In order to deal significant damage, players need to direct the beams of light into his golden armor, using the surrounding mirrors or the new hematite shield. Get blinded! Then, once burned to a crisp, players can claim its dropped Wand of Radiance to harness the sun's rays for mob destruction, though it's nothing compared to the weapons that these secretive snakes possess. Found deep underground in their bunkers, if you find yourself some rubies and toss them over, you can gain their trust and trade them for rare valuables like these explosive landmines, these deadly bomb rockets, and these snazzy suits. Thanks for the assist, guys. Ow! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Even with all these new weapons, though, players don't stand much of a chance against the Leap Leaf. This plant-like mob that jumps at players and slams down with powerful attacks can be quite the surprise, especially in large numbers. And while it mostly drops useless jungle leaves on death, there is a chance at the rare Totem of Regeneration, which is perfect for healing you and your allies in the heat of battle. Although, you could also give all those jungle leaves they drop over to the gorillas, because spawning in groups, these mighty pack creatures can often be seen tearing the leaves off of jungle bushes to eat, occasionally pounding their chests in excitement. And while they won't hesitate to defend themselves from aggressive players, if someone collects some of the newly added bananas, these apes can instead be tamed to attack mobs for the player. Yes! Haha! Together, apes strong! Though not strong enough to take on the Eld Knight. Seriously, he's got a spinning punch that can knock you across the map with one blow. Worse still, when it's damaged enough, it'll even enter a second phase with an aura that poisons nearby players every 4 seconds while healing itself. That, and it'll summon Eld Bombs, which are these tiny little creeper things that explode all over you. So if you want to do battle with this bad boy, it's best to call on the dependable Cobblestone Golem for help. A giant creature built from a number of stone blocks with a creeper head placed right on top. Despite its creepy appearance, its only purpose is to protect its creator, and it's capable of exploding entire groups of mobs all at once, breaking into these tiny cobblestone fragments after erupting that'll quickly scurry together to reform back into the original golem. It takes a lot of damage from this though, so it's best to repair it with a little cobblestone from time to time. It's just too bad they hate water, because the thrasher mobs that reside in these jungle lakes could use a good smackdown. These hostile fishies are a real threat, because even though they're blind, they can still search the waters with their sonar powers, and if a player is detected, they'll attack by biting into them and thrashing them all around! Even if most players would rather try sneaking past these beasts, for those brave enough to tackle them, thrashers will drop their teeth when slain, which can be used to craft an entirely new tooth block set or a trident that you can throw straight into a rat man's face. This sneaky, squeaky annoyance, usually found in caves, loves to shoot at players with its crossbow and throw smoke bombs to vanish from view. Shoot! Where'd it go? And when at low enough health, it'll even unleash a blast of poisonous arrows from all sides that are near impossible to dodge, though still nowhere near as deadly as the toxic guano. This adorable bug-eyed animal possesses a toxin capable of instantly depleting half of any mob or player's health. However, if you breed 2 of them with spider eyes, they'll also drop a new spit item that'll give you their same toxin powers, letting you have any mob's health health in the heat of battle. Even the ferocious Komodo dragon. These massive lizards see everything as a potential meal, whether man or beast, and are known to wrestle each other for dominance. Sometimes cannibalistic, they'll even prey on baby Komodos if hungry enough. And with an infamously poison bite, nothing stands much of a chance. Though, if you got a stack of rotten flesh, you can actually befriend these monsters to serve as surprisingly swift mounts that'll even chomp your enemies as you ride. Especially these evil carrots! Quite the ugly critter. These relentless biters will constantly lunge at you with their gnarly teeth, possibly as revenge for all the carrots you've eaten. Yum! Stop, you delicious devils! It's a real nuisance, but a good source of food. Well, as long as they're not accompanied by any ghosties. These phantom mobs bring with them the ability to cast a circle of invulnerability over any monsters, making them invincible. This, of course, makes any battle with multiple foes much harder to deal with, as you now have to hunt the ghost down first to take them out as soon as possible. Only then can you deal with the Mothman, a creature drawn to light sources like torches or glowstone that, if left unchecked, will smash them to pieces. Hey, stop it! They're everywhere! And once the light sources are gone, you better watch out for all the baddies that start to spawn in. Fortunately, the Mothman is easy enough to deal with, as one hit will disintegrate it into a cloud of harmless little moths. Plus, he might just drop some fur that you could brew into a special potion that grants speed and invisibility at night. Then, you could go out and harvest bamboo in safety to build up a bamboo golem. These walking masks on stilts are great for defending bases or villages, using the potion darts they shoot to weaken and kill enemy mobs. Though their long legs do make it impossible for them to walk through doors. So just make sure to either build them outside your base or deep beneath the jungles in the Fated King's battle arena, because you'll need all the help you can get against this wicked and demented warlord. With a variety of attacks like dashes, leaps, and minion summoning, this boss is relentless, and defeating him will only trigger his second, even more dangerous phase, where his attacks become faster and deadlier. However, upon his ultimate defeat, he'll drop the Conquest Blade, a giant sword with incredible damage that can also unleash an explosion at the cost of movement speed. Only the most powerful and worthy players can fight this monster to claim his mighty weapon. Or you could just ignore him and do some ant gazing. I mean, just look at these little guys go, carrying leaves away to their anthill homes. These hard-working little, Or we could focus on the anteater instead. These animals use their long tongues to lick up leafcutter ants and can often be seen raiding their anthills, digging with their claws to find treasures like beetroots, coarse dirt, and more. Though cute, make sure not to attack them, as they will fight back, rearing up and swiping at their target with sharp claws. Ow! On the cuter side though, baby anteaters will sometimes ride on the backs of adults, which is just adorable. Unlike the ghost, this menacing spirit can often be found lurking in jungle caves and will harm players with its melee dash attacks and ranged projectiles. Worse still, you have to fight them in the dark, as when near a light source, they'll become invulnerable to player damage. Now, while they do mostly stick to the caves, that doesn't mean that you don't have to worry about the Gunmaster. This Illager elite can often be found during raids, firing at players with his bowgun and throwing explosive bombs. He'll even jump away from anyone that tries to get close, constantly hopping around like a rabbit. Just let me hit you! He'll even launch waves of arrows from all directions, making for one tough raid. Though upon his defeat, the Gunmaster drops the Bowshot, which is an incredible weapon that allows players to shoot arrows without drawing and launch themselves into the air while running. It's great for traversing, though not nearly as great as riding on one of these Subterranodons, large flying reptiles found in the primordial caves. They primarily feed on aquatic life and can be seen roosting on rocky outcrops or flying through the vast underground hollows. These majestic beasts can be tamed by hunting a few of the new Trillicaris mobs. Ha! Gotcha! Before feeding them their tails. Then you'll have a loyal companion that can lift you up and fly you around wherever you want. Ah! Don't let go! Don't let go! They provide an excellent way to travel the world, though they will get tired after long and need to land. It's just too bad they won't help you fight the insane wolves. These hostile canines hunt in packs, often led by a white alpha wolf that can even breathe out a ray of dangerous redstone dust. While it's best to avoid them, killing some can result in dropped fur that can be crafted into an insane helmet that will allow you to walk among them unharmed and even hunt with them. Though their fur can also be crafted into a sword with a short-ranged redstone attack or a bow that shoots long-distance rays that consume redstone dust instead of arrows. Of course, a safer option would be to just hang out with these ground beetles. These guys can be formidable allies once tamed with honeycomb, as these loyal insects will attack mobs for you with incredible speed. In groups, these critters become basically unstoppable, providing valuable support in your adventures. Though even their tough exoskeletons aren't enough when faced with the Deeper. It's an aquatic creeper that's as dangerous as it is mysterious. For whatever reason, it's able to stick players to it, dragging them under the water to drown. And while the only way out of its grasp is to kill it with a 50% chance to explode, players might just be met with an untimely end. It's a formidable foe in any aquatic environment, though on land, nothing beats the jungle abomination. This gigantic boss mob is the one to beat in jungles. It can summon a variety of plant monsters to its aid, including leaf leaps and whisperers that can summon vines to trap the player and giant flowers to shoot out poison spores. And with its crushing blows, players can easily meet a quick demise if they're not careful. Though defeating this beast can result in a variety of rare loot, including a corrupted beacon, dark nature-themed armor set, a venom glaive that deals poison damage, and this cute mini abomination pet that'll follow you around wherever you go. Pretty awesome loot, wouldn't you say, little gal?
Yeah, not as awesome as that video though.
Really? That video? I don't know.
Click it!
Yeesh, okay.